Okay, good morning. So, good day, uh, good evening. So, whatever time it is, no, you're watching this. Greetings, char, parang alien lang galing sa ibang lugar. So, um, this week's topic, part two, is coronaviruses. No, so let's proceed without further ado. So, learning outcomes natin, as usual, that to be again similar to the previous groups of viruses that we were able to cover, as mentioned, no, sa ating lectures. So, at the end, you're expected to be able to discuss classification and structure of the virus, identify, explain rather, no, pathogenesis, identify clinical manifestations and complications, enumerate laboratory diagnostic methods that can be used to identify the virus in focus, and of course to discuss treatment, prevention, and control if there are any. So for the hayaan nyo na yun. Okay, so Coronaviridae is one of the two families within the order Nidovirales. No? So there are two subfamilies. We have Coronavirinae and Torovirinae. And then there are 6 genera in the Coronaviridae family. So out of those, there are about 6 coronaviruses that can infect humans. No? 2 from the alpha coronaviruses, and we have 4 from beta coronaviruses, which would include SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV. So these are the important properties of your coronaviruses. No, as for the virion, they're spherical, helical, nucleocapsid. They may be considered somewhat large, no, 120 to 160 nanometers. Single-stranded genome, linear. They're non-segmented. Okay, they're non-segmented, positive sense. They have 2 glycoproteins, 1 phosphoproteins, and they have 1 additional glycoprotein. That's the HE, or hemagglutinin esterase. Okay? Of course, they are enveloped, and their envelopes contain the spikes which they use for attachment to human cells. Like any other RNA viruses, they replicate in the cytoplasm. So outstanding characteristics, they cause colds or cold-like symptoms or flu-like symptoms. Uh, uh, they're associated, with SARS and MERS and COVID-19. Okay. Although they are non-segmented, they actually display really high frequency of recombination. Okay. And they're difficult to grow in culture. That may be a bad thing for scientists, no, because they'll find it a little difficult to work on this group of viruses. No, there's that um, need to know more, but on the other side, it would be good if they can culture the virus, because that can't be used for biowarfare, right? So, what else? Coronaviruses again exhibit high frequency of mutation. Uh, each round of replication, they undergo mutation. Okay, so even if they're not segmented, they're still capable of mutating themselves, no? Or recombining themselves. Okay, so instead of reassortment, like what happens in influenza virus, here the type of change they undergo is recombination. Okay, they just recombine or change, okay, uh, their proteins, their genetic material, or the genes that they have, okay, during replication. So quite unusual, no, for RNA viruses that are non-segmented. Okay, but still they can contribute to evolution of new virus strains because of their special property of undergoing mutation or recombination. Okay, so human receptors for coronaviruses includes the angiotensin converting enzyme 2, or the ACE2, which works for both SARS-CoV-1 and SARS-CoV-2. Okay, this is what they target when they attached to human cells. No? So they're spike proteins. No? That's what they use. No? That's what you see here, those or spiky things that you see. They attach these things to human cells receptors, no, the ACE2, no, for SARS-CoV and SARS-CoV-1 and 2. And then for MERS-CoV, they attach to the dipeptyl peptidase 4, or also known as the CD26, which are receptor sites in human cells. Again, they don't grow well in cell cultures. They use the spike proteins, and in some cases, they can also use their HE proteins for attachment. Their spike protein, their glycoprotein S, may cause fusion of viral envelopes with cell membrane. Okay, so they induce, no? Some coronaviruses induce cell fusion, which is again mediated by their S glycoprotein. Okay, some of these coronaviruses even establish persistent infection in cells rather than causing the cells to lyse. They live inside the cells. No, they become tenants of some cells instead of killing the cells in order for them to be released. Okay, so here we're looking at the structures of our coronaviruses. I have here a picture for MERS-CoV and for SARS-CoV. You'll see similarities. No, there's not much difference that we see here. Right. So for both MERS-CoV and SARS-CoV-1 and 2, SARS-CoV, they have similar viral structural proteins. No? So they have the phosphorylated nucleocapsid, or also known as the N protein. They have the M glycoprotein, or the membrane glycoprotein, that serves as matrix proteins. Okay, so nucleocapsid nila, that's the N protein. So yun yung balot ng kanilang genetic material, right? Or the core. And then they have the M protein, that would be sa envelope naman. Okay? So the matrix protein is embedded in the envelope lipid bilayer, right? And then that would be responsible for interacting with the N protein. So closely associated yung N and M protein. And then they have the third glycoprotein, as mentioned earlier, the HE protein, no? Which causes hemagglutination and has been observed to demonstrate acetyl esterase activity. Okay, kaya HE, hemagglutinin esterase. Okay? And of course, they have the spike glycoprotein. So they're about 20 nanometers long, either club shape or petal shape, whatever you describe that shape here. Okay? They look like tiny flowers to me. Okay? Basta petal shape or club shape. Okay? So they're widely spaced on the outer surface of the envelopes, giving that solar corona image. No? Ayan, mukhang sun daw because of their spikes. Okay? So both SARS-CoV-1 and SARS-CoV-2 utilize the ACE2 receptors, no, yung angiotensin converting enzyme 2. Okay, so both of them use that, no? So they use that for cell entry using their spike protein. Now, the spike protein actually consists of, if you notice here, the spike protein is composed of three identical structures, or they call that protomers. So 1, 2, and 3. So the three protomers are individually divided into two parts pa talaga. Okay? So the two parts of each protomer are known as S1 and S2, where S1 is responsible for viral attachment to cells, and S2 facilitates the fusion of the virus and the cell membranes. Again, so itong isang ito, that's called the spike, and each spike is divided into three parts, as you can see. Now, each of those three parts are further divided into two. The two parts are the S1 and the S2. S1 for attachment, S2 para makapenetrate si virus sa loob ng human cell. Okay? So, the genome, no, of SARS-CoV-2 is quite similar yun, around 80% similarity with SARS-CoV-1. Okay? The high degree of similarity actually makes so many people wonder why mas grabe man kaayo makakos og infection sa SARS-CoV-2 nga nagka-pandemic man tag yun, di ba? Sa SARS-CoV-1 epidemic lang naman, but anong nangyari? What's the difference? So they did several studies, and then one of the most outstanding findings that they had was that si SARS-CoV-2, no, has a binding affinity to human cells that's 10 to 20 times higher than SARS-CoV-1. No, so because of that really high binding affinity, mas efficient ang cell entry nila. So mas mabilis silang invade, no? Makapag-infect ng host cells. Napakapaspas nilang enter, no? So very efficient ang kanilang S1 and S2. Okay? So yun yung nakita nilang difference between main difference, okay? 80% kadako kaayo sa similarity ng SARS-CoV-1 and 2. Okay, so let's look into the epidemiology. Okay, so SARS-CoV, takpan nga natin. Okay, so SARS-CoV na nangyari previously. Okay, so we have here the the 2003 event. Okay, so it started in Guangdong province sa China. Okay, so it was first discovered November 2002. There were a cluster of cases in 29 countries affected. 8,998 patients were affected with the condition. 774 deaths were recorded. So 9.56, hindi masyado mataas na yung mortality rate. But still, that's 700 deaths right there. Okay, so it became a global public health alert on March 13 of the following year, 2003. Okay, so SARS, by the way, is severe acute respiratory syndrome. No, syempre, it's a viral respiratory disease. Nakos ng coronavirus. Okay, so it was easily spread because airborne yung virus natin, no? Inhalation of contaminated airborne droplets, yan, no? Pwedeng similar to how common colds and influenza is usually acquired or transmitted. Okay, so most patients with SARS were previously healthy adults, mga nasa 25 to 70 years. Okay, so a few suspected cases of SARS have been reported to be from children, no? Those 15 years pababa. Okay. Case fatality among people with illness, no? Were around 3% talaga. So si MERS-CoV naman, MERS is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. It was formerly known as the Novel Human Coronavirus Erasmus Medical Center, DA. Okay? Because it was where it was first identified, no, in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Okay? So 2012. About 27 countries have reported cases. Okay? So mga 858 known deaths. Okay? So around 35% ang mortality rate. Okay, so this particular coronavirus is transferred to humans from infected dromedary camels. Yung dromedary camels, ito yung isa lang yung hump nila. Okay? Oh, kasi Bactrian naman ang tawag dun sa dalawa yung humps. Okay? So dromedary, pag isa lang, Bactrian ang tawag dun pag dalawang hump. Okay? So, 'di ba? It's a zoonotic virus unta to. Okay? So, pwedeng matransmit naman dahil people are living with close associations sa kanilang mga animals, kaya na-transfer, no? So, matransmit siya between animals and people. Okay? And then, direct or indirect contact. Okay? So, it has been identified in several dromedaries, no? Across Middle East talaga, Africa, pati sometimes even South Asia meron. Okay? So, uh, hindi natin masyadong maintindihan no, yung origins niya. Some said galing sa bats, and then from bats, nag-transfer sa camels. Okay? Oh, so, And then from camels, naging possible na yung human-to-human transmission. Okay? But only a few of such transmissions have been found among family members living in the same household. Usually, dapat ano lang, no? Animal to human and human to another really susceptible human. So, hindi ibig sabihin nakatira kayo sa isang bahay, lahat kayo magkaka-MERS-CoV na. Okay? Mm. Pero yung sa healthcare setting, no, yung sa hospital talaga, where everybody na naka-admit is immune compromised, apaspas kayo ang human-to-human transmission. And then of course, you know this one, okay? Kasi lahat naman tayo ay naka-experience nito, no? So SARS-CoV-2, we know it started from Wuhan City, no? Hubei province of China, first identified December 2019, and then it was later on called the 2019 novel coronavirus, okay? It became COVID-19 by February 11, 2020. And then by January 30, 2020, it became a public health emergency of international concern. Okay? Later on, naging pandemic na talaga. So about 216 countries and territories were affected. Okay? About 62 million people were also, able to contract, the virus. And a staggering 1 million, 1.5 almost, deaths worldwide, and even more. Ito yung known deaths lang, 1.5 million known deaths. Mas marami pa siguro na hindi pa na-record or hindi na i-note, sa health agencies na COVID. Okay? So, pathogenesis of coronavirus, ayan, di ba yung origin, animal. Okay, so the SARS virus is probably originated from, hindi probably, talagang parang na, ano na nila, no, na-identify na from non-human host siya. So most likely from bats, okay? And then it was amplified in palm civets, okay? And then it was already transmitted to humans through the lifestyle that we have, the activities that we have, no? It was found out na sa live animal markets in China nakita. Sugot mo, mainom mo ani nga sabaw, kaluod. Okay, so the civet cats. And then later, they found out na ano rin pala itong yung pangolin in China. So this is the Asian anteater. Mm. Kasi they use the scales for medicinal purposes. Actually, parang all-in-one itong yung scales ng pangolin. Oh. Pinapadry yan, tapos dinidikdik. Tapos gamot na yan from kagid up to manic depressive disorder. Kaya dong i-treat niyang scales ng pangolin. Ang daming pangolin kaya nung nahuli nila during the course of during the pandemic. Ang dami niyo nakuha niyan. Oh, di ba mukhang ang cute, pero yun, pinamamahaya ng virus. Ayan. No? So, what else? The Chinese horseshoe bats, are known to be natural reservoir of SARS-like na mga coronaviruses. So, sa rural regions naman ng China, kung saan nag-umpisa yung outbreak natin, tabi-tabi, tao, baboy, o domestic fowl, they live close together. So, mabilis kumalat yung infection. Okay? O tapos kinakain pa talaga, no? Or ginagamit for medicinal purposes. O di mabilis na nakapag-promote ng panibagong mga strains of coronaviruses. Okay? Si MERS-CoV din would have likely originated in bats and became widespread in camels, because they did serological testing in those animals. Okay? So, may seropositivity talaga, yung sa mga animals na yun. Okay? Uh, it's more likely, na nagkaroon ng contact between bats, camels, tapos it led to initial human infections na now, pwede na talaga matransmit from person to person. Okay? So, to reiterate, okay? Yeah, no. So coronaviruses tend to be highly species specific. They display atropism for uh, epithelial cells of the respiratory and sometimes even the gastrointestinal tract. So infections in humans usually remain limited sa upper respiratory tract natin, sa nasal passages, no, where concentration is at its peak talaga. Okay? So again, the interplay of exotic mammals, no, sa mga live markets, ang punot dulo ng lahat. Okay? And because some of these animals are really reservoir like the palm civet, so nagkaroon ng mutations doon and have caused more than 80% of the SARS infection in 2003. So I don't really uh, think needed yung ipa-demolish yung mga uh, food markets na yan. No? Pero siguro i-upgrade talaga or i-heighten ang um, tawag doon yung sanitation, no? And then paghiwa-hiwalayin yung mga living quarters ng mga binibenta nilang animals, eh? Kasi negosyo nga naman yan. O, dapat yung tao, dun sa tulugan ng tao, yung animals i-separate talaga. Okay? And then sa MERS-CoV-2, again, may seropositivity talaga in camels and in bats. And so, avoid those animals din, no? Kung pwede, okay? Pero kung hindi naman pwede, of course, protect yourselves, no? Wash your hands, etc. Okay? So transmission, close person-to-person contact, respiratory secretions from animals to humans or humans to another susceptible human. Note ha, hindi naman lahat na kasama na malapit may be affected. Pwede rin talaga na pag pareho kayong susceptible, edi yun, no? Hindi naman sa loob ng isang bahay naapektuhan lahat, no? No? And we have observed that even with COVID, right? So yung isa may COVID, yung iba hindi naman nagka-COVID. Okay? Oh, so kailangan nun yung susceptible host. Okay? So if you're not susceptible to that virus, good for you. Okay? So what else? Airborne spread, contaminated surfaces with objects, no? And objects with infectious droplets. Kaya linis ng mga hawakan ng hagdanan, ng escalator, right? So mga doorknobs during the pandemic, no? Na na-experience natin. So, signs and symptoms. So, coronaviruses are responsible for the development of common cold-like symptoms, no, or syndrome in adults. Okay? Some people may be afebrile, walang fever. No? Ang notice lang natin may nasal discharge, sinisipon, body malaise, which can last about a week. No? Incubation period is around 2 to 5 days. Okay? Ang SARS-CoV may cause severe respiratory disease, no? May fever, malaise, chills, headaches, dizziness, coughing, and then this would be followed by shortness of breath. Incubation period would average about 6 days. Okay? And then the 2003 epidemic on or outbreaks, the SARS-CoV-1 was characterized by serious respiratory distress, including pneumonia and progressive respiratory failure. In some instances, may mga mabilis mag-advance yung kanilang mga condition that would require ventilation, no? So ito na notice in people with underlying conditions, okay? Si MERS-CoV naman infects children and adults alike, no? So there's mild to severe respiratory disease, may fever, may coughing, shortness of breath, there's diarrhea, and in some cases may nausea and vomiting, which is noted by CDC. Incubation period may be 2 to 13 days, no? With extended illness, okay? And some may lead to complications like pneumonia, renal failure, yun. Okay? So nakikita dito na ang common sa kanilang tatlo, fever, chills, coughing, diarrhea, headache, body ache. SARS-CoV-1 generally may body malaise. For MERS-CoV, dyspnea and coryza. Okay? Between COVID-19 and MERS-CoV, there's shortness of breath rather, nausea, vomiting, sore throat, myalgia. And then of course, kay COVID-19 yung palpitation. And then we lose our sense of smell, sense of taste, di ba? Dizziness on standing, and chest pain. Okay, so people at great risk would be elderly, neonates, no, children, and then with underlying illnesses. However, yung sa COVID-19, right? Wala tayong masyadong cases ng children. Okay? Madalang, usually yung mga nasa late teens up to mga nasa uh, 65 years of age, 75, mga ganun. Okay? Mm. Wala naman yung masyadong matandang-matanda at saka wala din masyado sa mga baby. Okay? May mga cases but dili gyud para kadaghan anang nasa middle age na bracket. Okay? So complications for SARS-CoV, they have the acute respiratory distress syndrome, kidney failure, pericarditis, disseminated intravascular coagulopathies, right? Vasculitis. For SARS-CoV, multi-organ effect. Okay? So, kaya ang daming namatay, di ba? And then MERS-CoV. So, sa SARS-CoV-2 kasi yun sa COVID-19, it affected a lot of people with heart conditions, no problems sa heart, problems sa liver, problems sa kidneys. Okay? May mga sakit na dati. O yung may mga hypertension, sila yung talagang napupuruhan, no? And then MERS-CoV-2, common complications is pneumonia and kidney failure. Okay. So what can we do in the laboratory? We can work with a variety of specimen types. Pinaka-common lang talaga si nasopharyngeal and oropharyngeal swabs, but you can work with sputum, bronchoalveolar lavage, your endotracheal, your blood, stool, serum, and of course, urine samples. So if you're going to work with urine, stool, bronchoalveolar lavage, or sputum, endotracheal, nasopharyngeal aspirates, of course, put them in sterile containers. But if you're working with swabs, the synthetic fiber swabs, no, with plastic shafts, for blood, EDTA tubes would really do work. And then, meron tayo nung for serum, okay? So you can collect it on red top tubes, no, yung mga walang anticoagulant. Okay. So specimen storage and transport. So if the test is done in 24 hours, store them at 4 degrees Celsius, or if you can't work with them, ASAP, you can store them at really low temperatures, like negative 70 degrees. That would be fine for your viruses. Okay. Serum can be stored at 4 degrees Celsius for 3 days. If you can't work with them just yet, you can again store them at much lower temperatures, negative 20 for long-term preservation. If you're going to deliver them or transport them across long distances, use dry ice or other refrigeration methods. But remember to avoid repeated freezing and thawing. That would lower the integrity of your analyte or your virus. So assays that can be performed in the lab includes nucleic acid tests. No, you can use your RT-PCR or alternative isothermal amplification methods. The RISPR pwedeng gamitin, no, yung Sherlock system that would be perfect for your identification methods. And then we have serologic tests. You can work with ELISA, chemiluminescence, your immunofluorescence assays, Western blots, protein microassay, and of course, neutralization assays natin. Okay. And then treatment, prevention, and control. Si MERS-CoV, no vaccine was created. SARS, no vaccine was created. But of course, you know that we have a long list of vaccines for COVID-19. Ayan na nga sila, di ba? So you have your Pfizer, you have your AstraZeneca, you have the Sinovac, you have the Gamaleya, Janssen, your Bharat Biotech, made in India, you have Moderna, and Novavax. Okay? So, ang dami. Pwede ba akong makakuha ng bakuna? Pwede naman. Di ba meron yun? We were stratified or classified into groups, right? May A1, A2, ETSUS hanggang sa dulo. Depende kung saan ka. No? Frontliner ka ba, edi A1, o meron ka bang underlying condition, edi A2, etc. Di ba? Meron tayong ganun. So lahat pwede namang magpabakuna. Even yung may mga underlying conditions, pwedeng magpabakuna. Yung nga may cancer, di ba? Pwedeng magpabakuna. Ipaalam lang na meron kang ganun na condition so that preparatory steps can be done. Okay? So, how can we break the chain of infection? Wash. Okay? Wash your hands. Hand hygiene. Okay? Cover your nose and your mouth pag umaatching ka or kung meron kang kasamang umaatching at umuubo. Avoid touching your mucous membranes. Okay? Train your brain not to touch. Okay? Pag hindi ka pa nakapaglinis ng kamay. And of course, avoid people na may sakit. Huwag yung lapit ng lapit, pakis pa. Or nagsishare-share ng mga ginagamit. And of course, constantly sanitizing and cleaning, no? Things na parati nating hinahawakan at probably hahawakan din ng ibang tao. Okay? So that ends our week's topic. So prepare for a quiz for part 1 and part 2 in our next meeting. Okay? So thank you for watching and listening.